What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing well. Today's a little bit of a different video. I wanted to introduce, just my laptop. I'm always outside, always giving you guys knowledge. And yes, it is good, but I want to make this one a little more organized, a little more structured, just so I can help you guys out a little bit more. But title of the video, obviously, is sharpening your axe. But it's mainly just to make you focus within. All right, I feel like that's my main importance for today, my main topic. So let's get started. There's a common saying I'll probably say a lot. Everything is found within, right? Everything is found within. And this is something I'm implementing in my day-to-day life because there are times where I cling on to things outside of me, and I cling on and saying I need this in order to feel something. But I always remember that everything is found within. So if you can ingrain this into your mind, write this down, something, know that everything is found within. The kingdom of heaven is found within you. Luke 17:21. I thought that was a pretty good quote to put in there. Now, a lot of us live in this external world. We're so focused on the without and not in the within. Without meaning what we have outside, and within, obviously, within. I just like saying without because it just makes sense. We get so caught up on what we see. We get frustrated because things aren't happening the way we want. Let me turn this off. We stress out and overthink because we're constantly in our heads creating scenarios. We try controlling outcomes, projecting what might happen, and this all stems from this thing called the ego. Now, when I say ego, I don't mean being arrogant. I'm talking about the false self, the collection of programs, stories, and beliefs that keep us stuck. I mentioned this in my other videos before, but just a little recap if you are new. I'm going to highlight a little bit more about the ego, but I want to really focus on sharpening your axe, going within. But this ego thrives off negative feelings. On the scale of consciousness, everything under level 200 is negative feelings. That keeps the ego alive. Now I'm going to quickly field of consciousness. So this red line right here is between truthhood and falsehood. And then this other one is a whole different thing that I'll talk about later. But everything under, which is pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, whatever, that's all a part of, that's all what the ego feeds off of. That's what keeps the ego alive, okay? And so if we can, not operate from those scales of consciousness, like where there is pride, where there is anger, where there is fear, shame, and guilt, then this ego won't keep clouding our minds, which I'll get into. And all your old programs and stories usually are plagued with these emotions. Anytime you feel any of those emotions, it's an illusion from the ego. The ego gets these things called payoffs. Let's say you procrastinate and you feel angry or guilty. The emotional reaction is a payoff for the ego. It feeds on it and it traps you in a cycle. It's something created in our head and we're simply just living inside of it. We eventually become victims of our own minds. Let's get into sharpening this axe. Now, this is what I mean by focusing more within. This involves meditation, reading books, or the Bible, whatever you want to read that what you feel called to do. Just know you'll be guided to the truth under God's grace. What I mean by focusing more within, I need you to stop focusing on what's inside of you. Ironically, I'm still working on this too, but getting off your phone and simply just being present. I believe a lot of people, at least in my generation, and of course everywhere around, a lot of people are just always stuck up on their phone. They can't enjoy a moment. They can't really just sit in and soak in the beauty they have around them because, well, all their attention is dragged on there. And of course, like I just said, I'm working on this as well. I'm getting a lot better, but there are times where I do get on it too much. I'm like, what am I doing? I know I keep saying simply, but it's because it really is simple. There's no need to overcomplicate it. Meditation is what will get you closer and closer to the truth within. Start off by just being consistent, 10 minutes a day. Then after a week, do 10 minutes in the morning and at night. Then raise the volume from there, and so on. I meditate a minimum of 30 minutes day in and day out. So 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night is what I usually typically go for. Bare minimum, as I always say, is 10 minutes. I either do 10 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes at night, just bare minimum. Prayer and isolation with God is essential for spiritual growth. Those meditations in the morning, those meditations at night are essentially just you and God. It helps you get downloads, it helps you feel present, slow down your mind, stop the overthinking, and truly tap back into the foundation you have. Neville Goddard, Joe Dispenza, and my personal favorite, David Hawkins, and also this new person I was introduced to, Murdo McDonald Bain. Now, If you're new to this inner work, I recommend you starting with Neville Goddard and Joe Dispenza, which that'll help you understand the power of your subconscious, assumptions, and visualizations. If you do want to get into David Hawkins, I recommend his sort of more calmer books like Letting Go. I think that's a book that anybody and everyone can read, and you'll still get into the scale of consciousness and stuff like that. So, Letting Go by David Hawkins. Maybe I'll pop it up, but it really is just Letting Go by him. But once you're more grounded into that, go deeper with David Hawkins and Murdo McDonald's Bain. They speak about the pure consciousness and truth, which I will get over to right now. Kind of had this thing, I was like, well, if they aren't ready for this, then why would they want to hear this? Let me at least introduce you to it, I would say, and then you can continue learning more and more. But if you are someone who is, dived in and has a good foundation, then let me give you some more knowledge. So, now, for about 5 to 6 months now, I've been sharpening this action mind, but honestly, it's become more of a lifestyle, always seeking to surrender more and dissolve this ego within. But let's start with surrender since we're on the topic now. I believe if I had to give someone one word to help them get closer to God and live the life they're always meant to live, it would be surrender. Surrendering is the ultimate way to get rid of this ego within. Surrender the desire to think, desire to want, desire to live in any negative state of consciousness, and the list goes on. The more we can surrender and live in this reality that God has for us, the more clouds we remove and feel the sun. Now, I have a little analogy for you guys. The Holy Spirit, Jesus Christ, God is within us, whatever you want to believe in, right? And this God, let's think of it as like the sun, okay? Now, the ego, like I was talking about before, likes to live in the negative part, you can call it. I don't like saying negative, positive, because it's opposite, but it's just the false, the below level 200, let's call it that. That's what puts clouds all over the sunshine. It plagues this positivity. Not saying it's more powerful from it, but we live in that. If we live in those clouds, then we won't be able to see that sun that's hiding from within, behind it, you could say. Now, once we continue to get rid of that state, those old programs, those old beliefs, those old stories of negativity, then the more and more clouds seem to dissolve and go away, and this truth can shine more and more on us, and we can obviously be a sunshine for everyone else, be a light for everyone else. So that's what I mean. More and more we can remove these clouds, which is the ego, which is dissolving this ego, which is getting rid of all that negativity inside of us, no matter if you think negativity is important or there's some sort of loophole of, well, I can be negative here or negative there. Trust me, any negativity is just poisoning you inside, so let go of it. And allow the sun to shine. Now, something that goes with this is the letting go process. You may be wondering how to surrender. Well, we can always pray to God and ask Him to remove the negative emotion, but sometimes it does go, sometimes it doesn't go away. And that's because you aren't letting it go. Surrendering is accepting, and whatever it is, be there. I don't know if that's proper grammar, but it's just accepting whatever negative thing, whatever negative program that you're trying to get out of you, allowing it to be inside of you, knowing that accepting that as part of you, knowing that it was who you once thought you were, and treating it like you're above that thing. For instance, let's say it's fear. When fear pops up after we prayed for it to leave, we tend to fight it and resist it being inside of us. When we do that, we're giving it more life. Once we are not fazed by this fear and just allow it to be in our body, knowing it's just a wave, every emotion, every thought, every feeling is just a wave. Whenever we are sad, we're not consciously sad for the rest of our lives. Like, it will go away. It's a wave. So any thought, any emotion, any feeling that pops up in our mind, or we feel it, it'll go away. You just gotta let it be there and be like, it's okay to be here. I accept who you are. I accept who I am. Just let it go. Then we drain its power, and it will be replaced by a higher emotion. That's law. Once we are able to let go of this power, we treat it like we're above. It's just a little kid, pretty much, you can call it. And let it go. Then you surrender it. Then you just breathe in. It will be replaced by a higher emotion. Peace, love, joy. God will give you what you need. Now, the letting go step by step. Become aware of the emotion without judging it. Let's say it's a fear example. Allow it to be there. Don't push it away or label it as bad. If you feel fear, it's okay. It's part of life. It's It's part of who you once were. You're letting it now. It's not you anymore. So you don't have to pay no mind. Analogy my coach gave me this one time was, David, let's say I say, David, you're 30 years old. That goes in one ear and out the other because I'm not 30 years old. But let's say he calls me broke. That goes in one ear and it stays because I internally believe that. Once we don't believe in something, that whatever someone says, whatever we hear, it will just go in one ear and out the other. So if you are fearful, if you are trying not to be fearful, you truly believe in your mind that you're not fearful anymore, and a thought or feeling within shows fear, don't be fazed by it because it's not you anymore. And once you can get unconsciously just that fear isn't part of me anymore, then you won pretty much. You won the game. Don't act on it or suppress it. Just feel it fully. Let it pass like a wave. Your attention dissolves it over time. It's not about fighting the emotion. It's about allowing it. It's about allowing it and watching it lose its grip. Now, this is the most prominent part, the promised reality. This part is going to be very, very spiritual, so I ask you to stay open. The reason we keep surrendering is to transcend this ego. The ego is what creates this illusion of lack, separation, and need to control. But we are one with God. God is love, God is everything, and God is fully here now. The ego pulls us into our head, into overthinking and fear. But with God, we're free from all worldly pressures. We begin to soak into His presence. Now there's capital P's everywhere, there's capital letters that is going to pop up, but any capital letter like this one, that's at the front, it's to show you that it's part of divinity, okay? Like this one. And obviously with God. So we begin to start soaking into His presence. In His reality, there is no separation, there is no lack, and there is no need to control because God is already within us. If God is everything and we are part of God, then nothing, no person, no thing, no here, no there, no at that time or this time is separate. We're all just one. We're all just here in this present moment. I know it might sound like, but trust me, the more and more you get into this, the more and more you'll understand. You can always pray to God, God, help me understand. And if you truly aren't, you don't like this, you're just like, no, you're speaking gibberish. It's okay. I'm not here to tell you that I'm right and you're wrong. I'm just trying to give you what I believe is true, what I believe the truth is. So take it with a grain of salt, you could say. We are not separate beings trying to reach God. We are already part of God. Once we truly embrace that divine presence within us, there's nothing else we need. We simply let God take the wheel and we watch with peace, trust, and awe. Our bodies were created by God. Our path is guided by God. But the more we stay locked in the ego's point of view, the more we block who we're truly meant to become. The more clouds we focus in, the more times we get stuck up in the negative patterns, beliefs, stories, the less God is able to guide us because we obviously have free will. We are not the body, we are not the mind, we are the awareness, that witness that is witnessing both. We're simply just observing what this body and mind is doing. Now, I know I just highlighted over everything pretty quickly. If you have any questions, of course, you can reach out to me. But I thought this was a lot more concise, a lot more organized, and help you guys a lot more to understand. And of course, you guys can read with me. And what we bring our awareness to, that's what's going to shape our reality. That's what's going to shape our experience of life. So keep letting go. Let go of striving. Let go of control. Let go of fear. Live life on easy mode by letting God lead and rest in the stillness that was always there. God's reality is present. God's heaven is here at this very moment. His divinity, His presence, His peace, His love, His joy is all around us. We just simply have to allow it to be here and let go of all those negative stories, negative patterns, and negative thoughts. Now, there could be a lot of things going through your mind right now saying, well, what about this bad thing that's happening over there, or that bad thing that's happening over there? But I recommend you check my previous video because I kind of explain a little bit more about it and how our reality kind of, there are quote unquote good and bad things, but it goes into non-duality and duality, which my previous video goes over that. So if you want to check that out as well, you can figure out more and more about how this God's reality, God's presence really is here in this very moment. But that's also not really organized. It's just me free flowing, but there is definitely answers there are definitely there's definitely questions waiting to be answered. I don't know. There's answers in that video. And so I hope that helps. But again, if you have any more questions, if you watch that video and this video, and you still have questions, you can hit me up on Instagram. The link will be in the description down below. And yeah, thank you for watching. God bless, and I hope you enjoyed.